Hello everyone and welcome to another live stream. After our, what should we call it, exercise in developing a game using Unity, a VR game, we're back at WebXR. I tried to learn working on the or using the what's it called, the XR interaction thing that Unity has, mainly to learn, well, for one, to learn how it works, but also to be able to create something similar in WebXR. One of the downsides of doing WebXR is that it's not always as much up to speed as with those kind of frameworks. But we're back at doing the dungeon crawler I was working on a while back. I'm not sure if I've streamed the dungeon crawler before. So just to be open about it. For many years, I wanted to do a roguelike type game in WebXR, and I did a couple of attempts and didn't really succeed on the level generation, on the fighting mechanism, on the whole idea. And now, with a lot of help of Rosie, my lovely AI assistant, and I think she's still running. Yeah, she's not. There's nothing in here right now, but she can do a lot. She is really, really powerful, running ChatGPT, of course. But also she's using some skills and in semantic kernel. A lot of stuff. I'm just trying to figure out how it all works. She started out as a Twitch bot actually, but right now she's really becoming my AI assistant, and we probably make use of her, maybe even during this stream if we need some help on coding or whatever. But this game is let me show you. The official name is Runes of the Deep Dwarven Cave Chronicles, and is a virtual reality roguelike dungeon crawler game set in a vast, procedurally generated underground dwarven stronghold. Composed of interconnected chambers and rooms, the players are tasked with exploring these confined spaces, fighting off hostile creatures and uncovering ancient dwarven artifacts to upgrade their tools and weapons in order to delve deeper into the labyrinth designed for playing with limited physical space. The game will employ a simple grid-based teleportation mechanic to provide an immersive experience that does not require large-scale movement by the player. So, it is kind of based on my game Storage Space 13. No. Yeah, Storage Space 13. Which is, it was for a game jam. And that, it is on HeyVR. You can play it if you want. And it uses some mechanisms like creating a room based on a definition, basically. You can teleport around. I just wanted to reuse a lot of those components I built for that. Now, with the help of Rosie, I built it. I created an entire backstory of the game. She helped with the game mechanics. The first draft of this document is written by Rosie, and it saved a lot of time. And then I started just expanding it, and I'm not sure if we can implement everything, but it could be cool. Oh yeah, it was also a thing. The Kisho Tenketsu structure. I wrote a blog post about this. This is such a great way of creating a level, and it's used. It is an ancient storytelling technique from Japan, and it's used in Super Mario, for example. Look up my blog, and it's a marvelous way of structuring things, structuring storage. And I want to implement that as well at some point, where the game starts out easy and then flows into a more difficult one. And we're going to do traps and all kinds of crazy stuff. But first we need to fix how the level works. So I have some debugging going on. This map won't be shown in the game itself, but this is basically how the dungeon is generated. You start at the green room and you need to get to the red room. That's where you need to fight to. It's about 55, 56 rooms away. And every 10th room, there is this yellow one. That will be a treasure room. A special room where you're safe. Where you maybe can find treasure, upgrade your weapons with the stuff you find. Just take a rest without fighting. It's every 10th room. But there is a catch. It doesn't mean it's every 10th room in the right direction. It's just, I calculate the number of rooms from the start. And there are splits. So there is a split here. And as you can see here, there is this room, which is down here. But it's actually an end room. So both of these are 10 rooms away from the last. Oh, and here's another one. It is 10. A room distance dividable by 10. But I'm also wanting to make the end rooms. If you run into a dead end, it should be worth it. It should be a special room at the end of a corridor. And then after fighting through almost 60 rooms, you end up at the final room. This means I also need to figure out a way to save the games eventually, because you probably won't be able to go through the entire dungeon in one go. I mean, this won't be a game where you just go in, play for 10 minutes and go out. This should be a game where you can play for hours. I mean, if every room would take you 1 minute to fight and explore, then if you have the right path in one go, it's almost an hour already. But the funny thing is, only one room is available at a time. The rest is not even in the map. There is nothing behind this door, technically. It's just nothing. Now I can get back. If we refresh, we get a new map. And we start. The start room is always the same. Well, every room is always the same right now, because we only have 2 rooms, the start room and the rest. But I'm trying to figure out a way. So if we would pass through this door, and textures and everything is going to be changed. There will be an enemy that is shaped like a rat, and there will be an enemy that's shaped like a bat, and there will be more enemies like goblins and all kinds of crazy stuff. But I just wanted to see how an enemy would look if it just... Every texture is 16 by 16 right now. And I think I'm going to keep that throughout the game. Maybe some things will be taller or wider or whatever. But the pixel size should be the same for every object. This will be a pixel art game. Just because I kind of can draw pixel art. And I don't want to spend a million hours designing everything. And I have shaders already that do this. This is my oh wait, that's not what's supposed to happen. This is my custom shader already, which is upgraded for this game because now it can do lighting. So let's see if we can figure out a way of clicking on the door. I can actually show in VR. Let me check if it works. I should have set up the VR display as well. Let's see if it works. So you should see VR now. If it works, and it's not... Yeah, so it decided to just break right now because we're live streaming probably. No, it's working. See, we can do VR. So we can go to here. We can go. So at the start we see this map as well, so we can figure out where we need to go, but just for debugging. And now we are in VR. I added a shield. I added a sword. And we can rotate with the controller, so we don't have to move all the time. This is just for testing. Okay, whatever. But if we click on the door, we go to the next room. Yeah. We cannot teleport around. Now, of course, we don't see anything because it's broken right now. As you can see, there was just a... We'll probably start in a wall now. Oh, wait. Ah, there we go. It's behind me. So there. But we entered through a door, so there should be a door on this side or a door there, and I want to end up over there. So that's what we're doing. We're going to teleport to that door. And it's tricky. Entering a room. Yeah. Entering the room. That's what we're working on. I just created a helper function, or it was there already, but I modified it. This would invert the direction, because if we exit through a north door, we enter the room through the south door. So I want to invert the direction, so north becomes south and east becomes west, and vice versa. Now when the level is generated, I keep a property in the game state of the room direction we entered. And then as soon as we enter, we're going to generate the room and we can check, wait, what room, what did we enter in? But now the rooms are, if we look at the room templates, here we have the designs of the rooms. It's kind of inspired by games like well, actually Rogue has maps like this, I think. But also games like Wolfenstein 3D, the original, has maps like this. And I was going to do something more complex, but I decided not to. So these percentage signs are the lights. We have a west, north, east, and south door. That's over there. This is the smaller room we just try to enter. There's one light in the center. Axes will be enemies. Now there should not be enemies, but I have not implemented them. They're just hard-coded and placed. If you look in Wonderland, there should be enemies. Just yeah, there's no light here, so we don't see them. We don't actually see them. Oh, and they're not really rendered. They're using my flipbook script of red PNG, and red PNG is just 2 images of that red, and we have a bed. It's pretty much the same. It's not even showing here, but it's just placed here just to have anything happen, just to see if it works. But when we need to exit through the south, we will enter to the north. Now at some point I want to be able to rotate the maps, but then I need to recalculate the doors as well, because the door in the north should stay door in the north. So if we rotate this, the west door becomes the north door, and we need to update the doors in the rotation script. So I've said this one cannot be rotated, this one can be rotated, but I have not implemented the rotation. There also will be a couple of different room types. Let me show you right here. This one room type. There's an entrance and an exit, that's a start and the end, a treasure room and a normal room. If we look at the design document, this is rooms. So there will be a lot of different rooms. But they will just be scattered throughout the dungeon. And maybe if we pass through certain thresholds, things might change. We get different types of rooms. So the game should stay interesting throughout the whole thing. And we can kind of decide on that based on the distance we travel throughout the game. So what I need to know now, I know what door sign we have, because it's inverted. If we exit through west, this will be an E. So we need to find the coordinates. If we look at the template again. So say we exit through the east door. We need to figure out the position of this door. And then we can say, well, yeah, okay, if it's a west door, we pick the next one there. And if it's an east door, we pick the one before that. And if it's a south door, we pick above. And so we just pick the positions there. But we first need to figure out what positions we are. The tricky thing is right now is that when we generate a level, we have no idea what template we used. Well, right now we know we have only one normal type, but there will be 20 different normal type rooms. So we don't know what template is used for the door. So we need to figure out a way to first store the... Let's just write it down. First, store the template in the room. Let's just put it in the document. No, we have a to-do. Let's do it in the to-do. Here. To-do. Oh, I already written it down. So the room needs to know what template is used. So I think it should be here. So we have a room. Is this the instance of the room we render? I wonder, is this the instance of the room we render? Room renderer, I think this is called from here. Current room. So current room is the get room. Yeah. So get room gets a room from the maze. This is actual of a type of room. So I think we can just say Control P. We go to our room class. So in here, we just need to store what template is used. Room template equals null, because if we would return to a room we've already visited, we should have the same template again. So we should only store the room, or should store the template if we don't know. So we go in here, we find the template of the room type. And then we say room dot, let's do set room template, and we store the template. Now this method does not exist yet. So we just go to room. Let's do it like this. Go to room. We're going to make this private. It's a private property. Room template. We'll just say set room template with the room template, and then we say this dot, but only no, if it is null. If it is null, we set it. Otherwise, we don't. Else, we say console.warn room template already set. And then we can do a get room template, and then we do return this room template. Then we know the template of the room. So at that point, we can, if we know what room we are in, we can just say get a template, and we get it. Okay. Now I wonder that room template. There is a room template class. So we can say this room template is of type room template. No, that's not correct. The template used to generate the room. That's what it is. I'm not sure. It's a bit double, but now the funny thing is, I kind of disabled it because I was going completely crazy. But if we want, we can set it to strict. And I think it might start saying, well, yeah, we get a room template, but it has an any. And wait, what? So now we need to set the type here, and this is the room template. So this works now, but now if we go to, now we get errors everywhere. Oh, this is bad. Argument of type null. Yeah. I disabled strict because I was getting crazy with the errors. At some point I want to fix all these errors, but for now I'm just going to disable strict. How to get rid of errors, disable strict. Yeah. The nice thing about JavaScript is that it's not that strict. You can do whatever you want. At some point, I might even go to TypeScript, but I kind of like the fact that the JavaScript is not that strict. I've been in situations where, for example, I could pass a lot of different things to a method. And I think it might be hard, or a lot of work, to set things up so you can do all those kind of things with TypeScript. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've done some TypeScript in the past. Well, actually, I've been using TypeScript since the very beginning. The time where Anders Hallsberg, the inventor of TypeScript, would actually respond to the emails about bugs and things, which was pretty cool. Really the beginning of TypeScript. The crazy thing about streaming is that you constantly forget what you're doing. Yeah, and then I sometimes wonder, am I live? Am I doing things? Is everything working? Okay, so at this point, we go here. We set the room template. As soon as we render a room, we set the template. Now, if the template is already set, so what we should do, actually, is do it like this. Let template is room dot get room template, and then we say if not template, then we find the template and do it. So now when we enter a room, after we've been there, we get the same template. So if we would do 2 templates, then yeah, we need to figure out a way. So right now there's 1, so it's probably going to pick just the first one. Returns the value of the first element in the array. So this will be a filter, and then we do a random, and then we pick a random one based on many parameters at some point. But for now, we just find the first one of the room type, and we get it, and we store it, and etc. But we have the room type now, so we can go and take this, go back to the level generator, and say current room dot get current room get room template. I want to see if this works. I'm just going to log it from now. For now, if I have a template in, and the great thing is Wonderland is running in the background, but I'm coding most of the time because everything is generated. Now, there is something wrong on my machine, I think. And Wonderland is not fully updating my thing. Normally, the browser would refresh if you want to. And that's one of the great things about Wonderland. It can even update your stuff without you leaving XR. So you're in XR, you're immersed, you change something, and it updates on the fly, which is amazing. I did a live stream with Jonathan Hale, the CEO of Wonderland, a while back in December, and he was actually, so we did a I forgot the name. It's in VS Code where you can share your what you're working on. Is it code share? Something like that. And he was in my code. I was wearing the headset. I was in VR and he was changing my code, saving it. It would update. I would just stay in VR, just get an update, and things would change, which was amazing. Really, really cool. Live share is what it's called. So he was in my VS Code through live share, updating the code, and I was in VR. Crazy stuff. And there is, I think the live stream is recorded, and there is a shorter version on the YouTube channel of Wonderland. Which is great. It's a great video. We had so much fun. But we had an error as well now. In the room renderer, there is no template. Oh, we don't set the template. So, let's close this one. Let's close a couple of files. I always have too many files open. So in the room renderer, we get the template. Maybe we find the new template. This is weird. This is another template, so I think I should use T. No, T. Like this, yeah. So we find T where T type, template type is the room, get room type. And then we set it to the template. Because I had template here, it threw me off a little bit. So now we always should have a template. It's either already in the room or we create a new one. And we set it. So it should always have a template. Unless, for some strange reason, this would fail. But that's what this should be doing. But it should be fixed now. There we go. We have the room entrance, so we do get the whole thing here. And is this pattern thing I need to work with. Now the question is, I think we can go and just say, right, in this room, I want to have the location of exit, whatever. So what if we just say, we need to have let exit equals get exit in the current room. Now we don't have this yet. I love coding like this. So normally we do this with unit tests in C#. It's also pretty cool and pretty fun. So we do get exit, and we give this a door thing. What do I call it here? Inf dir. So this the direction. Or door. Is it get door? I think it's just get door. It's better. Now because the way I've set up the map, there's only one possibility for a north door, a south door, an east door, a west door. There cannot be another door. Now the doors, as you can see here, let me refresh. As you can see here, in this room there's only one. And because we always start in the corner, it's either this door or the door we're looking at, I think. One of the two is always there. Or both. It could be we have both. Now I wonder, maybe at some point we're going to start at a random location, but then the map generation will be weird, so... The way this works is actually pretty easy. It's a just a default maze generation algorithm, and the first room in the top corner is always where you start. And then I keep track of which room is the furthest, and the furthest room will be the end room. But the player doesn't know which direction it needs to go. So we have a get door. Let's document this correctly. So this is a direction symbol. Direction symbol is north, east, south, west. Gets the door in a specific direction from the template. Template at returns, and this is actually an array of numbers. The x, y coordinate of the door. Or undefined. Interesting. It's so I'm I think yesterday I've set up the JS config, and I'm trying to get VS Code to better check my better check my code for errors. So now I always end up with weird situations like this where we get an error or squigglies because we don't return anything. It's void. But we will be returning something. So if we do this. Anyway, we need to figure out a way to get the direction. So we need to get the door from a template. So we have a room template. But the room template doesn't have a doors thing. There's a pattern. Now this would find the door in row 0. So what would be the easiest way to search a two-dimensional array for a certain value? You know what? Let's ask Rosie. How can we find a value? But actually, it's an array of strings. A character in an array of strings and return that as an X, Y value. Oh wait. What language? Now I've built Rosie. The downside of this ChatGPT, I'm using the ChatGPT 4 32K, which is 32K tokens, which is really big. But I've trained her to use. I just specified in the prompt. I instructed her to use JavaScript. I'm a JavaScript dev. She is my AI assistant, so she probably would default to JavaScript, and she does. So if we would do E, now this is not what I want, but I think we can index a string. A string as a array of characters. It's a grid, so yeah, I kind of like. Well, it's not the easiest way, but it works, I guess. Let's just start with this function. Now we have this template class. So we could just do now this will return the first instance of a. What am I missing? Am I missing a closing thing? No. What do you have a million? Why do we have a million errors now? Open. 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 Close, close, close. Close. What? Typing is hard. Property test? It's a class. It's a function. It's a method, actually, to be. Ah! Well, it doesn't even have to be in here. It's just a helper function. Let's drop it in the helpers. Whatever. For framework, I think it can be used in a framework as well. New file. Find in string array. Find char in string array.js. Export function. Drop it in here. It's a function find character in string array with target character and save. Okay, we need to do one more thing because we need to have this. So this is a string array. This is a... Is there a character thing? Or just called a string? I think this is... I think this is it. This is what we're doing, right? Grid target. Yeah. Save. Now, what I do, a lot of these functions can be used in many other games. Now, if I know that I'm going to move this to my framework, and my framework, I have a library. It's actually just open source. If you look it up on if you look up Sorskoot on GitHub, you can find this one. It's my Wonderland components thing. Now, there's a little trick. Yeah. I have this registry set up. And that's why it can find just my Wonderland components repository. And it gets the package from there. Not from npm, but from the repository itself. But they're just the components I use. And if I know I'm going to move something from my framework to those components, this is just a random function I can use wherever I want. Then I put it here, and I'm going to move it to the framework. And there's already quite some functions in there, like the snap to rotate is in there, and the flipbook thing. All those kinds of scripts I probably can use in all my games. I just put them in there, and then I can reuse them over and over. It's basically a make my life easy repository. Okay, we have that function now. Oh yeah, get door. So now we can import this, and then we say, well, we have a grid. That's the template we used. So this is not going to work. But it's this dot room template dot pattern. And we don't look for D, we look for direction. And then we do let result. Now result are two numbers, X and Y. That's different than what we did here. Or we can do this. Or we can change this and return the XY. I think that's better, right? Because next, we need to figure out where we stand here. It's not the best. But it's kind of like this. Not exactly, because I want to use my own game state. The way I've set it up, it's I think, and I've used that in multiple games, but I've designed it for storage space. Is in the game state, we have a player position. And it's using, I'm using RxJS. I recently released a blog post on RxJS, how I use it in my games. And I use it all the time. The funny thing is, when I change the player position, I automatically teleport it. So I, in my own teleport script, I subscribe in the game state to the position and the rotation. And if that changes, I update it automatically. So I can just say, and if for some reason in my game I need to do anything else with the position, if I change. Now what I want to do eventually is maybe fade out and in or whatever. Do something when I would change the position. I can do that just because I know the position is going to change. So I can just update the position and the player would move. Whatever is attached to the player, it moves. So that's what we need to have that coordinates for. Now exit, I think exit should be an X and Y. I think that would be better. So I think we can do the same here. So we say X number and Y. Is it comma Y number? This. So now result, and now we can just return result. Get door says, yeah, okay, it returns an X and a Y, both are numbers. Or undefined if it's not there. Null. Or null. Oh, no. If there's no door next to it. We could just ask for a door. But if it's not there, we cannot do anything. So now we have exit. Now we know exit has a Y in it. So we say exit dot. What I can do now is say, well, we have this exit, but we've entered from the north. Actually, it's not the room enter direction, it's the previous room exit. Maybe we should rename it. Room previous exit direction. That's what it does. It's weird, but that's what it is. We invert the direction to the enter. Wait, let's rename it. Enter direction. So the previous room exit will be the new entered. And if we enter to the north, we need to subtract 1 from the Y. No, not block cache, break. Yeah. And you have the S. And we need to increase the Y. Break. And then we have the east. And the west. And I think this is it. Now we probably can write this a bit shorter by just doing this. Going to pick it up. No, it doesn't want to do that. Oh well. And now we can just teleport to that location. We also need to set the rotation. Let rotation is equal to 0. Now I have no idea what direction we're looking at if we're looking at 0. So we need to figure this out somehow. So we're just going to guess. So if we're coming from the north, then south will be 0. Then east will be 90. I think it's fine. I think we just call this 270. So now we have a location and a rotation. And then we're going to say game global game state dot player position. Now we don't have an exit Z because we're using XY. We're just going to pass 0. And why is this wrong? Cannot find name exit. Oh wait. What's in here? How does this work? We fade out complete. Oh yeah. This event is called when it's dark. We fade out. Now we fade out. We're going to fade out, but the funny thing is, if it's fade out, we notify, but if it's set to continuous, we fade in immediately. So we fade out and fade in, but we fade out, then the event triggers, so we can just do whatever we want, as long as we're fade out, and then we automatically fade back in again, which is pretty cool. So if we change stuff, it just works. Isn't this called rotation? It's player rotation. Oh yeah, it's not an array, it's just a value. The player doesn't rotate up and down, it just works like this. So now we should teleport to a location when we enter or exit the room. Technically. Okay, let me get a sip of my drink. Hey Austin, welcome. How are you doing? So let's just see if we can. Now, I think the only way to test this, is it still running? No, it's inactive. Let's close this one. The only way to test this is to inspect. I'm going to refresh. I'm just going to put on my headset. And let's see if we can see anything when we switch to VR. I think we do. So we go into the browser. Let me recenter. We're going to the game. Oh, that's cool. Now we have a door over there. Let's go there. Oh, nothing happens. So there's a room here. So I think... No. So I see something. There was... Can rotate, but I don't see anything. There's a light, but... I think we're just behind everything. We might have teleported to the wrong location. This connection is lost. Do we get errors? Oh, we have an error. Cannot read properties of null. Okay, so for some reason exit is null. Oh, yeah. There is no previous room. This can be null. Because when we start, there is no previous room. So, if we don't have previous room. Wait, let's do it like this. If there's a previous room, we do all of this. I'm not sure if we need to do anything else after. And that's why exit wasn't there. But this was wrong. Now I've made the assumption it works like this. I know. Assumptions are the root of all F-ups. This is north. And I want to be here. So it's y minus 1. What is it? It could be that the whole thing is just flipped somehow. There's only one way to find out, and it's just to test things. I don't know exactly how it works. I made it, but I don't know how it works. Let's try again. So at this point, there will be... And normally it should auto refresh, but I broke something there. Okay, so we're back here. We go to that door. And we start somewhere. We are pretty high up. We are in a weird location because there's no door here. Why are we here? And why are we up so high? That's weird. We can go to a door. Now every room is the same, so this is a dead end. Oh no, it's not a dead end. Why are we up so high? All of a sudden. So it could be that the whole X and Y thing is switched somehow. So let's just do something weird. And switch the X and Y. We don't have errors anymore, so that's at least something. So let's hit refresh here. By the way, if you're new to WebXR and you want to know how to set up this testing thing with the check out my weblog. Okay, so now I'm looking in the wrong direction here. That's weird. But let's go here. I'm trying to... Oh, wait. Is this correct? Is there a door? There's no door here. Which is weird because... Is there a dead end at the first room? But it could be. Can we go back to the start room? No. How can there be a dead end? Let's try again. So there is a room to the south. So we know now that... Let's check. That's the south. So now we are to the north. I don't see a room. Poke my head through the wall. Let's see if I move my stuff. Is there a wall somewhere? There's nothing there. Nothing there. It's weird. I'm just stuck. There is something over there. I don't know. It's weird. Okay, we need to figure out a way of getting this to work. Now I made keys. I added keys at my game state. Here. No, at game. Here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I could change my position up and down, left and right, up and down. It doesn't set the previous room. So if we can figure out what the previous room is based on this, we can make our lives a bit easier and debug right here. So we have an exit to the northeast. So if I would hit 2, I cannot go there. Okay. So I hit 1. Now I'm at back here. I hit 1 again. Where are we going now? It's dark. Is this a dead end? No, it's not a dead end. It's a corner. So if we hit 1, we go to the northeast. So if we hit 1, we go to the east. So 1 is east. So this is east. Which means this is west. But then I think this is north and this is south. So what I can do now is just do game globals, game state, not current room. Exit, so something a previous, no. Dot previous room, previous direction. So this means if we exit on the east, we say this is E. Because previous room direction is direction symbol and this is direction symbol. If we do this, we get an error. East. I think it's pretty cool that you can check if a string contains a certain value that needs to be correct. I think that's a pretty cool feature. now we can make our lives a bit easier. So we travel to... If we hit 2, we travel... Am I correct? If we do 1, we go to the east. Okay, let's save. Refresh. So northeast. So this is east. So if we do... I already forgot. If we do 1, we travel to the east. 1. Now we are somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So let's look down and then move backwards. So we were standing right there. Now we need to stand right there probably. Is that correct? I don't know where the red is. But it's that 2 niche. So we went west, so this should be the door to the east. On the side with the 2 doors. So let's have a look at the template. That's north. So there's a space with 1, a space with 2, 3, and the rest. So 1 is east, 2 is north. So we should start right here in this case. If we go back, oh, we go forth now. We end up here probably. We should be able to start again. Yeah. This is starter room. So we end up. How far are we off? It's completely wrong. I think we started right here. And we should start here. This stuff is weird. How? Are X and Y mixed up completely then? It could be that my XY is switched. What we can do is just write it in the console. We're going to do a console log exit. Okay. So we refresh. We start. And there is no exit. And we have an exit to the south. So we check to make sure we're not doing anything wrong. South is digit 4. Should be digit 4. So if we hit 4. 4. Oh, meaning 5. 4. We get an error. So 5 is not south. 5 is probably north. So we do 3. We get back here. We do 3 again. We go to the south. So actually, these are switched as well. Interesting. Oh yeah. Plus, is that correct? It's weird. It's flipped. It is not making any sense. It is completely inverted in both directions. It's so funny. I've made this whole thing myself. And I have no idea how it works. I spent 10 days building on the game. And now I'm lost. No idea how to fix it. No idea how the game works. But with that, this whole thing is switched as well, probably. Cannot read stuff. Okay, let's refresh. I changed some things. So now we have one northeast. Make sure that we got it right. East is digit 1. So I hit 1 on the keyboard. We don't end up in a room, but we are in an exit of 0 and 4. So let's check the position 0, 4. And what's in the template? Template. 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We end up right here. I think we probably move the wrong value. So we do a +1. But this needs to be different. This needs to be the other way around. And then maybe north, east, south, west. These might need to be flipped as well. But we figure it out at some point. Okay, refresh. The start room is hard-coded. So we need to go to the south, which was 3. We start at 2, 4. Which is not the right position. Because we need to end up with one of those doors. But we have 2, 4. What is 2, 4 in our template? 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We should end up right here. Which is not correct. Because we went south. Which is odd. Let's write down the exit before moving it. But I'm glad I spent a little bit of time adding that edit thing. So if we hit 1, right? 1, we go to the east. North, east. So east will be this room. 1. We go to the east. Now we're here. We can only go to the south. I think we ended up here. So we are pretty close actually. 0, 3. Where do we end up? Zero, 1, 2, 3, which is west. We went east. So I think we ended up at the right place. I think we might have moved. They probably started right here. Let's try again. We go back to start. We had the wrong start location now, probably because I haven't fixed it correctly. But now we go to 1 again. Sorry, 1 off. So y should be 2. Do we change y when we go there? No, it's x. Why is y 1 off? Well, technically, I haven't checked. I mean, it's ChatGPT, so... Is this 1 off? So we should end up at 1 and 0, 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. That's the location I want. We get 0, 3. 0. And then 0, 1, 2, 3. Which is correct. Why am I here? Wait, did I forget the break? Oh, wait. Is this a thing still? No. Okay, we had a problem at some point, and if Wonderland doesn't compile, the end result doesn't get updated. So if we have an error in the code, it cannot compile. We don't get new code. So we can debug for hours if that bug is still in there, it doesn't compile. So we need to have a 0, 3, which should be correct. But we end up at 1, 4. Now I was wondering... Let's just close a couple of files because we're not using everything to the right. Close. Level state we don't need. Fade to screen we don't need. This one is correct, I think. So we only need these 3 files. No, there are breaks here. I was thinking maybe there's not a break. Let me just go wherever. So one more time. We end up at 0, 3, 0, 3. If we look at the template, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 3 is the correct position. Then why do we end up next to it? This is not a program. Rosie, why do we end up next to it? Is that because we move? So let's try and not set the rotation. If we don't set anything, nothing will work. But we... So exit. Again, 0, 3. Where do we want to end? 0, 1, 2, 3. We need to end up at 1, 3. So in case of west, we need to end up at 1, 3. So the first property, x, needs to increase. So west, this needs to increase. Which means on east, it needs to decrease. This should be correct. Then why do we end up next to it? Again, we need to go to the east. So we go to the east. Let's write it to the console. At the right location. And now we're getting south. Yeah. We have a type error. No, we don't. Okay, we go to the east. And we end up at 1, 3. But this is not 1, 3. This is 1, 4. I don't want to be at 1, 4. I want to be 1, 3. How does that work? We're close, but we need to be over here. If we go again, we end up next to the door. Now I wonder if we just end up there, if we go back. So if we go back, no. We end up at 6, 3. 6, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2, 3. 6, 3. Which is correct. But we're not standing at 6, 3 then. I mean, we're standing right here. So again, we're off by 1. There. I think we were standing somewhere around there. Oh! Let's do a console. Wait, console log. But then there's the player position. PS, player position. Let's do it twice. 1 before, 1 after. Doesn't show here. We go to the next room. The player position is 1, 3 now. Which is where the exit is. Now we can do it again. Doesn't change, we stay here. Now we go back. We end up at 6, 0, 3. Which is correct, but it's not the right position. How do we know? I mean, the player is at 0, 0. The track space is at 0, 0. It's up a bit, but that shouldn't matter. The non-VR camera is at 0, 0. Now, it could be that if we would walk around, that value might change, but I don't get that if you look at my template, we are at the right position. But in the game, we're not. We're off by 1 or 2 or whatever. How? Let me think. If we have the room renderer. If we have a door to the east. So we have I and J. I and J. And a door to the west as well. We're just going to test both of them. I and J. I and J. I mean, these are the coordinates of the freaking door. Literally. We are setting the position to those. X, Y, Z. Where is it? Here. Create tile. I and J. Y, X and Z. So if I log these should be the coordinates of the door. All the time. Refresh. We have a door to the south. 4 times. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 high. So we have it 4 times. So we have 5, 0 and 5, 12. Let's check. That's probably... Oh, we don't check if there's a door. So it's probably these, because we don't check if there's a door. Let's refresh again. We have a door to the south. Yeah, it shouldn't matter what we do, but because we have it there. We go to the south. Three 0, 3 7, 3 7. What was PS? Why do I have 2 PS? Oh, before and after. Before and after. So we are standing at 2.5 now. Which is literally the exit. But it's not. That's the exit. We are at 2.5. But the exit is at 3, 7. So it seems that this is up by 1. Well, at this point, it is midnight in the middle in the Netherlands. So I'm going to end the stream right here. It's a bummer. I haven't figured out how this works. I will continue working on this ASAP as soon as possible. Probably in between streams just tomorrow. I might stream again tomorrow. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel so you will get notified and stuff when I go live again. And I will see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.